everybody, and welcome to the Trail Runners Association of Hong Kong and China podcast.
Got it.
In this episode, I've already interviewed Wong Ho Chung, or Chung Sir, as many people know him. So what do you know about Chung?
Well, he's one of my favorite runners to follow. I actually was a marshal or supporting Andre in Four Trails when he set the record of under 2 days. Jackie broke 50, of course, everyone knows from the movie. But the following year, Chung came and broke 47 hours. First one ever to do it under 2 days. The initial Four Trails challenge was 4 trails, 4 days impossible. And then 3 days, oh, that's crazy. And then under 2.5 and 60. But he actually, the only person ever to break 48 hours and do it under 2. And I was able to follow him a bit through that.
You mean physically? You actually?
Yeah. So I saw him at like Lambton, like doing the change of trains at the Sha-Tin Pass the first day, where he was very relaxed and casual through the whole thing, and he was just super consistent and just so strong. And I just remember, I actually have a picture I used for motivation when he was on the train sitting down of his calves and how much muscle he has in his calves. And I actually that day I sent it to my strength coach and said, "Hey, we need to work more on the legs." like we're way far away from this guy. And then I also remember seeing him come down. I was at Pak Kung Au between Lantau Peak and Sunset Peak when he came down and was going up the final ascent. Just remember, he still looked like his first day out. And I asked him at that point, I said, he's just done, I think, UTMB the following year and done pretty well. And I asked him, I go, what's harder, this or UTMB, as a naive person? And he goes, this is much, much harder. But he still looked like so strong at that point.
Well, you had to get up very early, I seem to remember, in order to catch him because he was ahead of everyone's expectation.
Yeah, it was just, the sun was just coming up. I think I got there with like 3 minutes to spare. Actually, I saw all the photographers waiting. I said, okay, I just made it in time. And literally like 3 minutes later, he came down, and I got to see him at that point. I didn't see him at the post box, but I did get to see him at that point, which is kind of a private moment, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. I was thinking before he broke that record that maybe it's not possible for anyone to break 50 if they deliberately go out and do it. Because, when Jackie broke 50, he was trying to do well. Was he aiming for 53 or something? But he just was, started conservatively and then managed, everything went well. So he ended up being under 50, but he hadn't deliberately gone out to try and do it. So I wondered if it was actually possible for anyone to deliberately do a timed plan and actually go out and break 50. But he's proved that it's definitely possible.
Yeah, he may have been the only person that have stated, I think, I want to break it and
actually achieved.
It besides, just him and Jackie. But like you said, Jackie didn't go out with that maybe initial goal.
Yeah, well, of course, most trail runners in Hong Kong know Chung because he's been one of the most successful Hong Kong runners on the international stage. He finished in the top 10 in UTMB twice, and also top 10 in the TDS. I don't want to try and pronounce it. Is it Tour de Jean?
Sure. TDS.
Yeah. And he's done so many short races, and with the coaching at the Peak Master, he's mentoring a lot of young athletes and helping them do well, which he mentions in the interview. So I guess with that, we better get on with letting people to see Chung for themselves.
Yes, let's do that.
He seems slightly human and
Yeah. No, he's very down to earth, which was refreshing.
Okay, here we go. Here's Chung. Hello, Chung, and welcome to the Trail Runners Association of Hong Kong, China podcast. How are you today?
Hello, Jenny. Hello, everyone. Yeah.
And I hear you're training for a big new challenge, which is why I wanted to get you on the podcast and ask you about that. I'm excited to hear more about your project, Endless 500 Kilometers in Iceland. So I know it's your second Project Endless 500-kilometer challenge. So maybe you can start off by telling us where the idea for Project Endless came from.
Yeah. So happy to sharing in the podcast to tell more Hong Kong trail runner about my new challenge, Project Endless in Iceland. Actually, I finished the first edition in Hong Kong in 2022. Why I start? Because after I finished after competing for trail in 2022, and I think I have a question that what is the longest distance in the world? And I try to do a lot of research, and I find a route. I have a world map in my home, and I try to find out the longest distance. Actually, is in South Africa to South America. That is around 40,000 kilometers. This is the longest distance on the land in the world. But and after half years, some of my friends tell me actually a guy started this challenge, the same route since 1998. And I have a question that I ask my friend, and how is he now? And he said he is still on his challenge. He's still on the course, but almost finished like 80%. So he spent how many years? 27 years. And when he start at like 20 something, almost 30. So now he's getting 60 years old and he's still on the course. And I'm so inspiring with his challenge. But I also think that I am so appreciative, but I think that I don't have time to finish the same course.
Oh, you also have a family.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't have a family.
Yeah, so this is my dream, but I feel still I have a lot limited compared to him. I have a family and I don't have enough time, but I try to develop a new challenge for myself, which is achievable. So after 4 trail, I make a Project NS edition in Hong Kong. It's 5-day, 500K, all self-support, carrying a big backpack, start at the airport to go over Hong Kong and run a loop. So I finished in 5 days finally in 2022. Okay, and why? And after 3 years, and actually I lost myself in this 3 years. I have tried some longer distance, like 700K in GR5 after Hong Kong at the same year. But I think it's too long for me. Actually, I think I spent 2 weeks, 14 days to finish 700K. I think it's a little bit boring and too long for me. So, and I also tried some shorter version called Japan, Kagoshima, Jeju, a lot different place. It's around 250K. But I think it is not challenge enough. So 5 days is 500K is the best format for myself. So after 3 years, I decided to do it again. I take the place in Iceland.
Yeah, so Iceland sounds like a beautiful place to go trail running, and also I hope cooler than Hong Kong in the summer. But why else? Is that why you chose Iceland, or do you have any other reasons for choosing Iceland?
Yes, actually, I would like to do this challenge in a very cold country and also in a very hot country. So I will do the cold country first, and I decided to do it in Iceland because I know that's so beautiful. I see a lot different video in YouTube channel. Yeah, this is a dream place, especially the Iceland. This is like a country. If there's a loop on the road number 1, it's around like 1,600K. But I think it's quite boring and all are running on the road. So I make the challenge harder and more difficult. I will try to do it in the middle. I will start at the south of the international airport and try to go in the middle side to the north. The most difficult part is I'm not sure, and many things is unpredictable in the middle side, especially this all in the whole year is getting frozen. It's frozen in the whole year. Only 3 months we have the chance to go past. The best timing is June, July, and August. So I start my challenge in July, probably the hottest month in Iceland, and it's the only chance to go over Iceland in the middle side, the best timing.
Great. So what temperatures are you expecting it to get? Like, does it get very cold at night?
It's around like 0 degrees to like maximum is 15 degrees. So hopefully it's not frozen, even like at the night time.
You must need to have quite a thick sleeping bag for 0 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah, I will prepare the whole my big backpack. Okay. Then let me show you my backpack. Yeah, this you can see very special tailor-made backpack for my challenge. Yeah, it's showing like Project NS Iceland Wong Ho Chung and supported by Hong Kong Travel Runner, and which is waterproof. And I put all the gears inside, including the tents. Actually, I don't have tent. I only have the sleeping bag and a beefy bag. So I try to put all the clothes on and sleeping on the in the sleeping bag. Outside, I will put in with a waterproof beefy bag. Yeah, this is my plan for staying overnight.
Great, it's amazing, and I heard you trying to get everything down to 8 kilograms.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I show you.
So how do you manage to get everything you need down to only 8 kilograms?
Actually, it's my plan, but I'm still trying to adjusting how to make it smaller and smaller. So the merino wool is a best choice for during the challenge. And I don't have the tent, but I will, because I think that even single tent is too big for me. So I will sleeping in the beefy bag. And for the food, I will buy a lot. I already buy a lot dry food, but during the challenge, I will take away all the backpack, all the package. Only I will repack the food, make it smaller and smaller, and I will prepare 10,000 calories during the challenge.
Yeah, it sounds quite a challenge to get that down to 8 kilograms and to be compact for running.
Yeah, and I can share also. I have a lot experience running on 4 desert challenge in 2018, which when I start day 1, the pack is around 8 kilograms. So I try to doing the same preparation.
Yeah, great. And so how about the terrain over there? Like, does it have a lot of elevation gain? Any big mountains?
Yes, it's 500K, but the elevation is not very big. I think it's around 5,000 elevation gain only, because I won't go over very high mountain. The highest altitude is about 800 meters only, the highest mountain.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's I think the terrain is I expect is like very wild but runnable, because I'm running on the course country road number 26. I expect the car can also go over the road, but in Iceland everything may be unpredictable, because the hardest for the vehicle, for my support van, for the swimming pool, is there's a lot river, over 20 river. I think I can cross with my leg. I think I can cross by myself, but I'm not sure the swimming pool they can follow me the whole way. So I think this is the hardest part.
Yes, there must be a lot of melting water from the snow and ice during the
Sure.
summer, and then there must be a lot of streams crossing the roads, right? And
Yeah.
maybe some flooding and things. Yeah.
Uh, um, maybe because the melting and then the river become some of the river may be very a lot too much water and the car cannot go over the river. So as my plan, I will go in the middle way. I have the confidence to go do it myself and staying overnight self-support. I carrying all the things to by myself. But for the swimming crew, they will following me and doing the live checking or a screen or like making the post IG story in the internet. But the problem is if they cannot follow me in the whole way, especially in the middle part, they have another plan that they drive and wait me in the opposite side, but probably like 200 kilometers late after. So yeah, maybe some session in the middle I will run alone.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going to be tiring for them as well if they have to drive all the way around the long way to go from
Yeah.
the other side. So
Yeah.
are there any other natural hazards in Iceland? I've never been there. Like, do they have polar bears or volcanic activity?
You mean like the wild animal?
Yeah.
And when I do the research, I think there's not some dangerous wild animal, and or even mosquito. There's no mosquito in Iceland. I think it's too cold for the for the mosquito.
Nice.
For the dangerous animal, I don't think there's some wild animal, but I think just the weather will be one kind of the most hardest and maybe will get me into danger. Yeah, because the weather changed suddenly and so windy, very windy, and when windy and they will getting colder and colder and maybe rain quite often. So with the big heavy rain and windy, then it will make the challenge harder. And also, so I design my backpack is waterproof. At least the clothes inside it, I won't let it getting wet.
Yeah. Well, if you get cold, you just have to run faster to keep warm, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
So I know you have done a lot of self-supported challenges before, including the 700 kilometers in the Alps. And so why are you attracted to doing such long challenges, self-supported?
Because I want those challenge is fair for everyone, not only me, not only because I have a big support crew, have a big sponsor. No, I want to make this challenge everyone can do it. It's fair for everyone. Like for my challenge, carrying a backpack. I start in the international airport when I land, and then I can start my challenge and go through Iceland. So the route is actually I can like self-support. That means I prepare all the things by myself. But if when I'm running in the middle session, I find a hotel and I also can enjoy staying overnight in the hotel. If not, I will camping outside. Yeah, because the service is not only provide for me and can provide for everyone, but it's like randomly. I see some hotel, some shelter during the 500K in the course, but I'm not sure they're open. When I try to contact them, there's no not getting replied because it will open only in 3 months in a year.
Ah, interesting. Yep. I'm wondering how do you prepare yourself physically and mentally for such a challenge? Like, we don't have similar terrain in Hong Kong, especially not similar temperatures right now.
Okay. First of all, mentally, I think I'm strong enough for the ready for the challenge because this is my dream. So nobody asked me to do it. I'm no pressure, but just this is my what I want to do. So for mentally, I have confidence, and for physically, I pick up the training again and start 2 months ago. I try to build up the endurance. I compared to 3 years ago, I'm more busier now. I think for training, the most important you need to spend time. I try to give myself more training time and also relax, rest, sleep more. And I try to develop the endurance again. And in June, in such hot weather this month, at least I doing 600 kilometers in a month. Average is around 20K. But some longest distance, I prepare the last long run is around 70 kilometers. And my final training, I am flying to Japan, that Chongqing, I forget the name. I flying to Japan, and I'm doing from the south to the north is around 200K. In finish in 3 days. So it is my last long run in Japan. I'm going there in 26th of June. Yeah.
Is that because it's cooler weather over there, so you're going to get more similar conditions to Iceland, or?
Not the weather and the condition is not the same, but at least the distance is the same. And also I love that place, and because when I live in Hong Kong, and then I feel more relaxed and more focusing on training. So I cannot stay in Hong Kong to training and such like 3 days. Many things will happen in Hong Kong, so I have to leave.
Well, so you've already talked about the gear with your backpack. Like, what other things are you taking among your gear?
Yeah, I have to show some very special gear. I'm running with the long type. I think many trail runners they have their self. Oh, and the merino. I think this is the new things for me at least, because the merino wool top which can keep your body warm, especially during the running. Even you're sweating, you're getting wet, but it still keep warm. So it's very useful for me. And I also have two pieces, one on the top and one, second layer and first layer. And I have a very big jacket from Normal. I'm so happy that they sponsor me a very big jacket. Yeah.
I'm sure
So
it folds.
keep the body warm.
Does that fold up very small?
Yeah, I
get it
can
into
fold it. Yeah, yeah, I can fold it very small. And the battery is so important. This is the Leica battery 20,000, which is very special edition. Can use it in the very cold weather. Yeah, the temperature can less than minus 40 degrees Celsius is set. So you know, in the cold weather, I will run out the battery very fast. And for the camera, because this challenge, I will make a documentary. Of course, for myself, I will take some video with my camera, but I'm not a cameraman, so I will only carry phone. I have two phones. One new phone is for very important for emergency use, and other phone I will just use iPhone to capture all the some beautiful picture and video. Very special, and other special thing is I will have some walkie-talkie to contact my swimming pool, and I have another gear called InReach. It is a navigation system device. But I don't have it now because I'm asking Wei to buy. Is coming is I will getting it like 1 week later, and I will practice more with the InReach, because in the middle side of Iceland there's no connection. It is not totally not the same with like Hong Kong. I cannot contact my friend maybe lost the contact with my swimming pool, but I will use Garmin in which to pair the Wayme apps to synchronize the data, and even like low low signal, that I still can contact and asking help with the Garmin in which. But I have to practice it like when I get it. So the time I also like to spend time to learning some new things.
Yeah, great. So you mentioned that you're going to have a film crew following you. So how's that going to work? Obviously, they're going to follow you on the road. And how many people are joining you?
I have a filming crew which including my wife, and I have 5 cameramen. They will sharing it with 2 cars. They will try to following me to film and taking some pictures, but they won't give me. They are not a support team. They are only filming. That I do all the challenge by myself, because I think this like a experiment that the just like to test is that when a guy they start the airport and just doing everything by himself and try to cross over Iceland. So this is the experiment, and my filming crew will try to capture all the things. If some accident happened in the challenge, they also will recording everything, but they won't give me help. Except I really need help. I get to very dangerous situation, and then I will ask for help. Then I still will keep my challenge, but then I will fail this mission of self-support. Yeah.
Yeah, and are they going to be sleeping in bivy bags as well, or do they have more luxurious accommodation?
I don't know. They will try to recording me along the way, but when I sleep at the night time, they will drive back to town and sleep in the nearest hotel.
Yeah.
This is their plan.
Nice.
This
Yeah.
is their plan. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't get down to minus 40 degrees, although your phone battery will be fine, but that might be a little bit too cold. I didn't know that the phone battery gets drained more in cold weather. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Run out a lot faster. The battery, especially the battery.
Now,
It's heavier.
yeah. Is the idea of filming you in order to better raise funds for your charity? Maybe you can tell us more about the fundraising idea.
Yeah. When I do my challenge, all the expense I will pay all the expense by myself, but I will also do the fundraising for a charity called the Pete Hunter Foundation. This charity supporting the Hong Kong children, youth children development. Like I'm also one of the volunteer coach in this charity, and we in the last 3 years after the Project NS Hong Kong, we fundraising have some small funding, and we spend the money to develop the youth trail running. So you can see now in this 3 years, many youth coming up and their performance is getting higher. Their ITRA performance index is like very close. Some of them higher over 700 ITRA each point now. So we will try to, because one of my dream is to after me, who can have the higher achievement in trail running and try to achieve some biggest target in the worldwide, some big race. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that the Peak Hunter has been very successful at encouraging young trail runners to improve their level in the sport. And am I correct that you're also wanting to help children from disadvantaged families
Yes.
to get into getting more discipline and also something fun and safe to do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you remind me. And also we provide the trail running to some low income family, let them have more chance to get into trail running. trail running.
Great. So are you planning any more big challenges after Iceland, or are you just going to finish Iceland and then see what you feel like doing?
You mean after Iceland?
Yeah. Have you thought that far ahead?
Okay. It's still long. It's still a long way to go. After Iceland, if I successfully finish the challenge, I will planning in a very hot country to do it again, but maybe 3 years later. So this is my next dream. And something also coming in this year. Probably I will go the World Championship, the WMTRC World Trail Mountain Championship in Spain. But I'm not sure. But let's see. I'm still waiting for the result. Who's led by HKAAA. But if I have a chance, I will still representing Hong Kong to do, because this is good, the best way to promote Hong Kong trail running. If I can contribute my performance, then I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And but which distance are you doing? Because I noticed that in the Hong Kong qualification race, then you did the shorter distance. Are you hoping to represent Hong Kong in the shorter distance this time? In the Hong Kong Trail Running Championships in May, then you did the short distance instead of the long distance, which is a bit surprising because you normally go for a very long distance, like 500 kilometers.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because if I do the long challenge, because I'm training for Project NS, I will every day feeling tired. If I do the long trail in the selection race, and I will have take a longer preparation, and I will feeling tired after that. And also I know one of my students, Rex Low, he is doing short distance. So for me, no matter I do what result, I hope he can get selected more than me. So during the race, we are running all the way together, and I hope he can keep his performance, not the pace too fast, with a steady pace, and learn during the race. So finally, he got second place just after Ying Ying, and I got third place. For the result, I think I'm happy to see he got second.
Yeah, well, Hong Kong has got so many great trail runners at the moment. So yeah, I hope they can get a good group to go to the World Championships this year.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So do you mind if I ask you some things about Four Trails?
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially because the movie came out, then a lot of people have become even more interested in Four Trails, and most people know that you hold the record time, which, let me see, it was 46 hours and 55 minutes, which is, I find this really mind-blowing how, I mean, even 60 hours is already a great achievement, but to do 46 hours is just insane. Now, there's one thing I'm interested to ask you is that there have been a lot of rule changes since you did it, which I think have made it harder. So do you think that it's still possible for anybody to break your record, maybe even you in the future?
Okay. For me, I think it's not possible for me to do in faster time. I also think that actually many things can do. If I have the energy and have some new target, I will try to explore more the world. So I won't do the challenge or try to break the record again. But I think for other strong runner, I think it's possible to break the record. Because even during my challenge 3 years ago, sometimes I think some up and down. I feeling sometimes very low moment, very bad moment. But so still some improvement in the Four Trail. But I also heard that like Andre, the founder of the Four Trail, he said if he invites some very strong overseas runner to break the record, it is possible. But he tried to make the record, try to make the routes harder and harder. And for him to break the record is not the key point. It's possible to break it, but he's don't want to show like how fast the people can finish 412. He want to make it harder and let more and more people to find themselves, to think more about his life during the challenge. This is self-challenge, not achieving higher performance and result. So I'm not sure in the future people can break the record, and because this is not the founder Andre want to see. He want when people can get faster, and he will adjust the rules harder.
That's true. I mean, how much do you think the new rules have made it harder? I mean, even the run from the peak down to the ferry pier, I think adds at least 20 minutes to most people, maybe even 30 or 40 for people who are very tired. And the start time being announced at the last minute, it must cause a lot of stress for the runners as well. What do you think about how much harder it's got?
You mean for my year and 3 years later, now the rules change adding some rules and making it harder. Now how much harder compared to 3 years ago? I think as for me, the rules in these 3 years, I think it's not that hard because not using the watch, I think it's fine for me because in such long distance, you're running, you listen to your body, you're running with your feeling is more important. So the watch is not so important for me, and not listening to music. Actually, during the 412 and my year, I don't listen to music during the challenge. So as for me, I think it's fine. But I'm not sure in the future what new rules we're adding in.
That's true. I think the watch thing might make it harder for overseas runners who are not familiar with the trails to navigate. I mean, those of us who live in Hong Kong can navigate without a watch.
Oh
right?
yeah. If for some overseas runner, then it will be hard because the watch for overseas runner for navigation, but the watch for me, I know the route, so I don't need the watch for navigation. And if I want to calculate what time, and I still can see the phone and to know the plan.
Yeah, good point. So for people who are thinking of applying to join the 4 Trails in the future, do you have any advice for them to be successful in completing it? I mean, during training and during the event itself.
Last year we have a youngest survivor again. He's also asking me the same question, but he tried to preparing in a very short time, in just 3 months, and I encourage him. He at least he need to see all the course or to go to recce the 412, and he know the way, especially when he had a very bad moment. He will lose himself and he will cannot find the direction. So if the time is limited, then try to at least recce for hiking, like no matter what speed, to see all the course first. And also is endurance training for it.
How about during the challenge itself? Do you have any advice for people, like how to manage their pacing or nutrition during the event itself?
For the pacing, that normally the people will run too fast in the first Wong Ho Chung. So try to take the pace. I think just under the cut-off limit is fine. It's fast enough. I forget the limit. The cut-off is 18 hours. Or 6.
Yeah. It's
so
18
and I think so just try to keep the pace not over the cut-off. Then you will find the energy again. But if you run too fast, and it's much harder. And remember to take a sleep during each trail. As for my 4 trail challenge, I sleep at least 1 hour when I transit those trails. So remember to have a good rest, massage, and take a rest in your support van. the time is not too important. It's much better that when you start the trail and you feel tired and you sleep on the mountain, that is only wasting your time. Yeah, you will lose a lot of time in the mountain. So have a good rest when you are transit with your when you have supporter.
Yeah, that sounds like a great tip. So finally, if people want to follow your challenge or donate to your charity, where do they go?
Okay. During the challenge, I have a partner that called Me. They will set up a platform for introducing my challenge, and also they will have a live checking link. The system, because Me is a free navigation live checking platform in the future in Hong Kong or in overseas. So people just can when before the challenge, I will send out a link. They can use the link to see live checking. And also for the donation is keep it open during the challenge. Thank you for supporting.
What page do people go to for donations?
For the donation, I will send out some information before I start the challenge.
So people should follow your Instagram for the latest information is what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Sure, follow my Instagram and also Facebook. You can find out the information.
Yeah. Great. I look forward to that. Thank you so much for your time today, Chung. It's been great to chat to you and hear about your challenge.
Thank you, Jenny.
I'm sure you've inspired a lot of people to think about what challenge might be achievable and fun for them too.
Yes, thank you. And and one more thing, I will do the sharing when I come back. It is around on September. There's a documentary. I would like to see the documentary with everyone and share it.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
Nice to chat to you. Have a good day.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Okay, we're back. So, Michael, what did you think about what Chung had to say about his new challenge?
Yeah, it was very interesting, right? I mean, yeah, obviously English is his second language, and I thought he spoke very well. But I felt almost a little bit more concerned about his challenge in Iceland and what's in front of him. It seems like he's very prepared, but it also seems like there's still a lot of unknown about the route maybe he's taking and what's out there, and being stuck in maybe a snowstorm or ice or whatever it may be. So it seems, especially coming from this climate into that type of climate. Obviously, he's well prepared and done all these types of things. So part of me was very impressed that he would put himself into that kind of environment for this type of challenge. Part of me was also a little nervous, but it sounds like he's thought of everything, and he's got a good crew, and if something happens, and dealing with batteries and all those types of things he discussed. But I came out also, it's like, I look forward to following it. I look forward to him completing it successfully.
Yeah, he does have some emergency backup, and it seems like he's taking a road route, so it's not strictly trail running.
Yeah,
but it is a endurance challenge, of course. So, and maybe there is bits of trail, or actually the road might be rivers in parts, and so then that is a trail. Yeah.
Obviously, the course is new to him. I don't know if he's ever even run in Iceland before. I think this will be his first time there as well, right?
I think that's one reason for wanting to
right.
go.
Which is to then just say, I'm going to come up with a route and do 500K and bring a support crew and all. Yeah, it's exciting. Exciting.
I actually looked up whether there are polar bears in Iceland, and they're not native to Iceland, but they occasionally do drift across on icebergs. And I think the police or Coast Guard are on the lookout for them and try and shoot them, because if they get to shore, they are very hungry, because they have been floating on an iceberg for a few weeks. And although hopefully not too many of them, because they're an endangered species.
Right. I'm sure he'll be fine. Hopefully. But it was also neat to see his passion with helping young new runners, and how, like, even how he was talking about in the championships, how he was more excited. I think that one of his students or people that he's mentoring came in second and came in front of him. And he was more excited about that, I think, than his own finish, which was neat to see. And you can see that his kind of passion in that area now, which is great to learn from him. And so I was listening closely to everything he said, because I'd love to learn from him as well. So yeah, I thought that was also very interesting.
Yeah, well, he said that you need to, for people doing 4 trails, they should go out and recce the trails, and so I think you're already following that advice.
Yes, right? Yes. And his other advice is around trying to keep the pace very relaxed on Mac. Obviously, he's in a different class than most people probably trying to attempt it, so you have to take his recommendations probably in context of your own skills. But yeah, obviously conserving energy on the first trail is very important, I'm sure, for that challenge as well.
Yeah, the one thing I was wondering though, he said, oh, you should try and only just get under the 18-hour cutoff. But do you think it's possible to break 60 if you do like 17 and a half on the Mac?
Well, so to me, I've done a lot of math. I'm a math major, so I've done a lot of math on it. I think you have to be able to finish Wilson and Mac in 36 hours. So if you say you can do Wilson in 17 and Mac in 17 with an hour to 2 interval, and then with limited sleep before starting Hong Kong, and be done in Hong Kong, say in 10 hours, that gives you 13 hours or so on Lantau. So I do think it's possible, but you have to then nail the rest of it, right? And I think that's the point. So that's where what I've observed from marshalling and taking part in it is that Wilson is the key to people breaking 60, and Mac less so. Mac can put you under. So if you did do 17 hours on the Mac, I think as long as you can do 17-hour Wilson also, then it's okay. But most people's Wilson is actually longer than the Mac. Last year, I think, or this year, I should say, I think every person, maybe one person was faster, but I think every person, and it was a night start time, so that may have had something to do with it, but every person was slower. So that.
Do you think some of the people actually took a long rest in Taiwo 7-Eleven because they knew that they weren't going to make the MTR? So there were certainly a lot of dots that were not moving when they were in Taiwo.
I made that mistake as well. And to be honest, though, only one person had to wait for the first train, which was Kimmy.
Yeah.
No one else made that train. So even if they slept there, they slept too long because they didn't make the first train, right? Mm-hmm. And so I kind of had that mindset too. But I think it's much smarter to get to the MTR, even if it's 3 a.m. You get there. Get to the MTR as soon as you can, and don't play that game of because nobody broke 60 this year, right? And so I think that was maybe part of it is I had the same mindset of, oh, well, I'm not going to get the MTR, so I'll just sleep here a little bit longer. I'll eat here a little bit longer. But then other problems are naturally going to happen, and you can slow down even more. And now you're 6 hours after the first MTR, So maybe, but it's an interesting thought. And I do think it's possible.
Although it's advice that he's given for other people that he didn't follow himself, right? Because he's either Mac in 15 or something.
I thought it was closer to 13. I forget. Yeah. I have to go back and look, right? But for some reason I thought he did hit in 13.
But obviously that was an easy pace for him, so people should do it or whatever their easy pace is.
That's fair. I think he'd done Hong Kong 100 with somebody the week before or 2 weeks before in like 11 hours or something. So yeah, I think 13 and a half, I forget what he was. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
That's a different stratosphere to most people who are attempting it. About his 500-kilometer challenge, though, I thought it was interesting that he's done some challenges and some other challenges and found them not exciting enough or too long and boring. So I guess if you're spending 14 days on your own, then that can get a bit boring if you have the same stuff day after day.
Yeah, it seems he likes to do this unsupported stuff, right? And so, like, I've been following John Kelly, who's in Barclays. He's doing the Appalachian Trail right now in America, which is 2,800 miles. I forget the exact amount. But the fastest known time, I think, is 42 days or something like that. And he's trying to break it, but he's doing it with a full crew, right? So every day when he finishes, he's getting the right food, he's changing shoes, he's getting massages, physio, all that stuff. And it's a different type of challenge. I think mentally it's very different as well, knowing you have a crew and every maybe 4 to 6 hours you're seeing you have pacers and things like that, versus doing something completely self-supported where you're carrying your sleeping bag, you're carrying all those types of things. So I imagine trying to do some of those types of things, the number of days longer and longer could be challenging.
Yeah, but I think his style of doing it is obviously trying to make it more accessible for other people to try and do similar challenges, which does I hope get people thinking about, okay, maybe I can't do 500k, but what can I? What is achievable for me? Right. I mean, when I first started running and I heard about people doing trail walker, I was like, I'm definitely never going to be able to do 100k. I decided that at an early stage of learning about running because I thought I had dodgy knees. I still have dodgy knees, but I thought doing 100k is definitely gonna ruin them and mean that I can't run after that. But actually, my knees have got stronger through doing 100k. And so you don't know until you try. How these challenges are going to pan out and what other challenges you might come up with after achieving those challenges.
And obviously there's a lot of logistics to do these on your own or even with a crew. There's a lot of logistics versus doing a race, which has got aid stations and you can kind of show up with your bag and not think too much about everything. Obviously, the longer the race is, the more you need to think about stuff. But with something like what he's doing, there's a ton of planning that has to go into it, which, again, some people crave that and they love doing those types of things. Obviously, they're harder to put together. You need to get people's time. There's more expense probably in some of the stuff as well. But it's neat to see. Yeah, it's interesting how everyone, I think, can find these little things that can inspire them and then motivate them. And then he's trying to, again, raise money for the charities and make documentaries to inspire people. So it's really, I can't wait to see the documentary for sure on some of these things he's doing.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't have too many dicey situations to...
No, I think it'll be better for the viewing if he does. Nothing too serious, of course. But yeah, it'll be good to watch.
And I've actually been thinking about what might be achievable for me to do as a challenge. Like, I mean, I would love to be able to do 4 trails, but I'm realistic enough to know that I don't think I'll ever be fast enough to be able to even do the 18 hours on the Mac, especially with still having something left for the other trails. So I thought about 4 and 4, but even that has got... You need to do the Mac in 20 hours on the final day.
Yeah, day 4. Yeah.
On the final day, I don't think that's physically possible for me. I'd like to be proved wrong if my training goes really well in the next few years. So I thought, well, what is related that might be achievable for me? So I think I could do. It's possible that I could do the 4 trails within 4 24-hour periods, which is that 96?
Right.
Oh, 94.
96.
Euromaths major.
That's 96.
Yeah. I think it could be possible for me to do it in 96 hours and sleep between the trails, and then I can choose which order. I can choose my own rules. Like Andre says, the trails are there for anyone to do whenever they want. But I'm planning that in for like 2.5 years' time.
That's exciting. Yeah. Are you allowed pacers? In your rules?
I'm allowed. I'm allowed whatever I decide I'm allowed.
Yeah.
But the object is to physically complete the 4 trails under my own steam within 96 hours.
Nice.
So I have been looking at what races I can do in the meantime to get myself up to the required mileage and pace. And I'm looking at obviously doing 100Ks and 100 miles, also stage races. So hoping to do the Hong Kong 100 if I get a place on the ballot this year, and then following year the Grand Slam and some other long races in the meantime.
Nice. Well, in July I plan to do my own challenge called the 4 in 10, which is the Hong Kong 4 trails, and the exact Hong Kong 4 trails format over 10 days in the summer. So it would be running max in 3 days. So breaking it apart like a stage race, but I would start every one at 7 a.m. So start at the end of the MAC, and again, using 4 trails rules. So no watch, no phone, no headset, no poles, no support, all that type of thing. So 3 days for MAC, 3 days for Wilson, 2 days for Hong Kong, 2 days for Lantau, and try to do it in 10 consecutive days without using GPX, doing the whole thing in the summer. Obviously, it's just, I say just, but 25 to 35K a day, but you get to run the whole course, basically.
Are you going to do them in the same order as the...
Yes, exact same order. And then I plan in September to do it again, maybe in 7 days when it's a little cooler, September, October, but doing it at night. So start each day at 7 p.m. So you run the courses all during the day and then do the same whole course during the night is kind of like a little challenge to help prepare me if I get a slot into 4 trails to do it as a little challenge. So I think there's a lot of things you can do similar to what you're thinking in order to try to cover the course and kind of get a feel for what the trails are and things like that. I was originally going to try to do 4 and 7 in July, but it's just, I've done a couple 50Ks in this heat recently and I was not so good the next day. So I was thinking maybe it's asking a little too much in this heat to, of course you could take as long as you need, but you still want to kind of be running the trails, not be just power hiking in day 3.
Well, or just trudging.
Yeah, right. So and I think the other thing with it will be good is how you do proper fueling, not only during, but proper recovery after and proper fueling before you start each day. I've been playing around with some of those things in the last recent month. So it will give you a good chance to try to practice some nutrition things, not just during while you're out there and hydration all, but also how to recover properly and put some logic behind it and try to stick to it over those 10 days. So it'll be, I'm looking forward to giving it a shot and hopefully.
Oh, I'm sure I won't be around to see the suffering. I'm going away next week.
Hopefully, again, I'm thinking like, it's only 30K a day, should be, but in this heat, I'm just doing it in 10 straight days.
I've actually been doing some the last 3 weekends I've been doing 30K training runs.
Yeah.
Once a week. And yeah, it's intense, especially the last hour. I've been starting really early in the morning, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. But then the last hour is around 11 a.m. and it's really hot by then.
Yeah, I know. I've done, this last weekend I did 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday. It was pretty, I was not looking pretty. The legs actually felt really good, but just zapped of energy.
I feel also that if you go out and do back-to-back runs, I get more easily overheated the second day.
Yeah.
Because your body is kind of like, not this again.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. I'm trying to do more, just focus on recovery. Like right when I finish, eating things within 30 minutes, enough protein, enough carb, like right after the finish, making sure I'm hydrating through the night, like all those, still taking in electrolytes, sodium, things like that. Try to really focus on some of those things. But yeah, so there's a lot I think people can do with these different types of things.
Yeah, so Chung's been inspiring people to do their own challenges, I hope. And I think it's great to see that he's concerned about his legacy. Like he wants to make a mark. Well, he already has made a mark on the Hong Kong trail running scene and encourage people to raise the level of trail running to be world standard. And he's been quite successful in that so far, and still a lot more to give. He's only 38, I think, or certainly will be 38 this year. So be good to see what comes next from him.
Yeah, and helping the next generation of Hong Kong runners as well is exciting as well. So make sure that Hong Kong has a bright future, for the trail running community. Just wait.
Anything else you'd like to share about what you've been up to? Not
much. Strength training. I know you've been doing some new strength training as well. I think we've talked about that maybe a little before, but the importance of it, I'm a strong believer, and I've listened to many podcasts of many pro trail runners and pro athletes, triathletes, things like that. And strength training is such a core foundation for some of the best athletes out there, especially as you're getting into longer distance trails and avoiding injuries and all those types of things. I know you've started some new strength training as well recently.
Yeah, the past 2 weeks I've been against the Elliott at Joint Dynamics, and it's really interesting that I've been spending a few years doing strength training and quite religiously, 2 or 3 times a week on my own, but increasing the intensity ever so gradually. And so I was on a nice plateau coasting along. And then I went to see Elliot, and he's like, oh, you need to work on this, and this. And then he's making each session not just a tiny bit harder, but an extra 20% harder. So, trying to push for more rapid progress than I would have been pushing myself. So it's good having a coach to push you. I know you have a strength coach as well.
Yeah, I think, people, when I started, I was overweight and started to get fit, things like that. The first thing I got was a strength coach. First thing I did before I got a triathlon, I started with triathlon, but before I even got a triathlon coach, I got a strength coach. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I think I had improper form, but just having that structure and that person, someone with experience who understands what you're trying to achieve, and then they can target the right type of training and strength training for what you're trying to do. So yeah, I believe in the kettlebells, and so I have a bunch of kettlebells here and do kettlebells twice a week. And I just talked to a couple people about adding a third day. They think it's probably good to add a third day now. At this point, I'm 54, and they think it's good to add a third day, so I'm going to be adding a third day soon as well. But it's hard to be doing 8-hour runs on weekends and things like that, how to figure it out. But we'll figure it out. But it's such an important piece. So I think if people are serious about it and they don't do it, getting a coach, because it's really hard. I always found it hard. I mean, I think, of course, there's things on YouTube and things like that you can learn and follow, but just having structure with a coach on just strength, I think is one of the best investments you can make if you're serious about this stuff.
Yeah, it's also good to schedule a time that you put in the calendar.
Right.
Then it guarantees it's going to happen,
right,
unless some emergency comes up.
Right.
So
100% agree.
If you just say, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes of strength training when I get home from work, then it doesn't always happen, right?
Yeah, or it's 30 minutes you set aside, but you're really doing maybe 10 minutes of actual work because you're, talking to somebody or procrastinating, or, maybe taking a longer break than you would with a coach and stuff like that. So whenever I do my own workouts, I always find they last like an hour and a half instead of a very structured 55 minutes with my coach, where I probably get more in. It's just because I'm like, oh boy, that was tough. I'll just take a little longer break, or I may not lift the heavy weight that I would get told to lift by the coach. So yeah, I think it is one of the smartest things you can do is have a strength coach. Yeah. It's not, it's obviously money and people have to worry about finances, but it's still, I think, one of the best investments you can make.
Yeah, and there are some strength classes that are not expensive. Like there's a few here in Discovery Bay that are outdoors where you
right,
go along and you only pay 120
right,
or something.
Yeah, even the group classes are great too, right? Because then you have the community aspect of it. So some people may feel more comfortable in that. I personally like the individual customization, but yeah, of course, then you're paying a bit more for the personal coaching, but everyone can do it. But yeah, just making sure that you do it and having someone that can guide you on it, I think is...
It's also very good for general health as people as they get older, because I was reading or listening to something a few weeks ago that was talking about how many percent, I forget the figure, that your bone density declines once you get over a certain age. I think especially over 60, but over 50, or even in your 40s, your bone density starts going down, right? And if you start with more muscles, then you're more likely to retain them for longer as well. So you've got to get some muscles on the bank so that you've got something to lose. Otherwise, by the time you get elderly, you won't be able to lift your suitcases. Never mind the impact on running performance, but it's good for general health, the bone density and everything as well.
Absolutely. So so I'm happy to hear that you're I don't know if you're enjoying is the right word, but that you've embraced.
No, I am enjoying it. Also, I've been running back to the pier afterwards,
there you go.
which has added an extra run to my week. and I actually felt surprisingly good, because having had like an hour warm up and then having an easy run, that seems to be quite a good combination.
Yeah, I'll sometimes do a run after mine as well, and I feel much more loose and warmed up and things like that. So I usually have like a little bit better performance at the early part of those runs after a weight session. But not an 8-hour one, but like a 1 to 2 hour one is good.
Yeah, it's good to have some exercise in aircon at this time of year, isn't it?
Yes, that's true too.
Heat is rather brutal. I actually went running at 1 p.m. this afternoon because I'm not busy at work this week, and I took the luxury of a lie-in, and then when I woke up, it was already after 8 a.m. and I looked outside. There was not a single cloud in the sky. And I quickly looked at the weather forecast. Is it going to rain later? Should I wait till later? And it said 50% of, I found a forecast that said 50% likelihood of rain at noon. I was like, okay, I'll wait to see if it's any better at noon. Anyway, noon, there were a few clouds.
It was hot today.
Not any sign of rain, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was just walking. I was sweating like crazy today, so
But I didn't see a single other person running.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I don't think it was actually any worse than at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And I ran past the beach where they've got the showers. You just put the quick shower over the head. That feels good.
Yeah, no, that's one of the best parts about running. That was maybe the only good part about running is soaking in a little pool or getting under a shower or just dumping a bottle of cold water over your head. Yeah, that's it's so relaxing.
Yeah, so I'm glad I'm going to be escaping next week to Scotland.
Nice.
So I've got one more 30k run to do at the weekend. Then my next long run will be in Scotland.
Nice. And when you come back, it'll still be nice and hot. So.
Yeah. That's the one problem is if you go to Europe in the summer or Northern Europe, then coming back is a rude shock.
Yeah.
And the years that I was stuck in Hong Kong during the summer during the pandemic, then it definitely helped my running performance in October.
Right.
I was only doing virtual races, but I was definitely stronger in October than years when I've been to Europe in July or August.
That's what I'm counting on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Michael. Well, I might let you go and enjoy your evening.
Yes.
It's nice to catch up and learn a bit and chat about trail running.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Jenny.